there are two main approaches for these tasks. So there are like holistic approach and analytic approach. So I'm going to start my dilation with the analytic approach. Based on the definition of the analytic approach, my attention should be focused on distinct features of this figure and like individual components which should be transformed. So here the features or individual components for me are like these points, because as you know, transformations are functions which you work with coordinates of the shape, which are these vertices. And I'm going to just follow the definition of dilation. So I found the center, and then I measured the length between center to F, and I draw the line between these two. And because I wanted to make a 50% dilation, I needed to find the center of the line or the midpoint of the line. So I found like G. And then I did the same thing for other points. So I found H, J, K, and I, which each of them is the midpoint of each of these lines, just from center to one of the coordinates. And then I just connected the points together, and I made the new shape, which is this one. And this one is the 50% dilation of the initial one, which is this one. And then we can test if it's working, and you can see that when I change the center or change the location of center, I can see that this is working. Or when I'm just manipulating my initial like shape. And then for the holistic approach, my attention should be given to the figure as a whole, such that my mental operations are performed on intact whole figure. So I was thinking that how I can show my mental operations, and the best thing here is to use a transform option on the software, and then use dilate and do this. So the dilation created by the software is exactly these pink things, so I cannot say that. So I should delete my construction that you can see what software created. So what software created is exactly as I created. But if I'm going to suppose that this is my mental operations, I should just suppose center and then my shape, and then just move my shape and think different situations which, if my mental or operations are working very well, I can show them like what you can see here. So the best thing to show my mental activities is to use the transfer option. And then for the second one, which is about rotation, okay, I did the same thing for analytic approach. I used features of figure, which are these points, because in transformations I have a function which works with the coordinates. And then based on the definition of rotation, so for dilation I used the length, and then I found the midpoints. But for the rotation I need to find circles which are centered on center of my rotation, and then the points of the initial shape are placed on the perimeter of my circle. And then okay, I found the points, and then I connected the points together, so I had my new shape. And then I can test if my thing is working or not, which you can see that it's working. But for the holistic approach, I should just use my mental operation, and then I'm going to use transfer option and then reflect. Wasn't what I wanted to do. So this one, and then rotate. Like I'm going to use 180. Okay, you can see that this is exactly the thing which I made or constructed. So as you can see, this should be some kind of my mental operations, which I'm supposing 4 different circles with the center on the center of rotation and my points on the circle.